Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Liaquat Zaman and this is Roots of Knowledge, my YouTube channel. Here is where I make all my videos and I try to explain to you guys various types of sciences like Arabic, Hadith, Quran, Tafsir. Check out the videos. If you like them, hit the like button, subscribe button, and also leave a comment below. This series is dedicated to helping you guys to be able to understand the famous book, I was going to say the world famous book, the famous Hanafi text, Mukhtasar al-Qudoori. So without any delay, let's start then. So, la yasihhu. Okay, so yasih, it means to be valid. And then salam, you know what salam means. Salam, we've been talking about that since the last session. It's forward sales. Saba' is 7. Okay, 7. Shara'it means conditions. Dhakara yadhkuru, to remember. Aqad is a contract. Jins, it means genus. Ma'loom, known. No is a type, so type, this is genus, the family, and then sifa is description. Okay, so description, and then you have miqdar is amount, quantity. Ajal is time. In fact, let me just make this a bit bigger so you guys can see it nicely. And then you got ma'rifah is know, knowledge, acknowledgement. To know. Miqdar, again within that ra's, means head. And mal means capital. Okay, wealth. So head of wealth is basically capital. إذا كان فيما يتعلق يتعلق, it means to attach, from the word علاقة. Right, to attach. Al-aqad, we've done that. Miqdar, amount. Makil is cups, certain measure. Mawzoon, weighed. Okay, weighed. Ma'dood, counted. And tasmiya means to mention, to state. Makan, place. I think a lot of these words you guys know anyway. Yuwafihi, to deliver. Fihi idha kana lahu, so it's from the word wafa. Okay, wafaya, wafa. Idha kana hamlun, hamal, weight. Alright, so weight. Mu'una, burden. Burden. قال أبو يوسف محمد لا يحتاج, it means to need. تسمية, we've done that. معين, specific. Okay, specific. ولا إلى مكان التسليم. تسليم is to deliver. سلم يسلم, يسلمه, to deliver. موضع, it means place, location. عقد لا يصح السلم حتى يقبض, to take possession. Okay, to possess. رأس المال. Let's move this a bit up. قبل يفارق, يفارق, to depart or to separate. Alright, so separate. لا يجوز تصرف means to invest or to deal. في رأس المال ولا في المسلم. مسلم فيه قبل القبض. ولا تجوز شركة. شركة means partnership. ولا التولية في المسلم فيه, مسلم فيه قبل قبضه. ويجوز السلم في الثياب, ثياب, clothing. إذا سمى, stated, طولا, length, عرض, ورقعة, and like type, رقعة, type of cloth. Alright, so let's have a look at the tarkeeb of this then. That's the thing that you guys have been waiting for. The tarkeeb. Alright, so لا يصح السلم عند أبي حنيفة إلا بسبع شرائط. مضاف مضاف إليه. تذكر في العقد جنس. Now you can say جنس إلا سبع شرائط. جنس معلوم. We're going to say جنس. Yeah, so here جنس معلوم. If you ever do this, you have to assume here there's a hidden here or هو. Yeah, جنس معلوم نوع معلوم صفة موصوف صفة معلومة صفة معلومة. There might be a wow that's missing over here. I'm not sure. You guys check in your books and let me know. مقدار معلوم وأجل معلوم ومعرفة مقدار رأس المال. all مضاف and مضاف إليه. إذا كان مما يتعلق العقد the فاعل على مقداره كالمكيل مجرور موزون عطف معدود وتسمية and this goes all the way back to the original جنس. المكان الذي موصول يوافيه and that he is a ضمير. okay, by the way, it's not part of the verb. فيه إذا كان له حمل اسم of كان ومؤونة عطفا تحمل. قال أبو يوسف ومحمد لا يحتاج or لا يحتاج. So you can say لا يحتاج, there's no need for, or لا يحتاج إلى تسمية رأس المال إذا كان معينا. This is اسم مفعول معينا. Okay, this is supposed to be معين. Okay, يا and noon have got a bit messed up there, put question mark there. ولا إلى مكان التسليم ويسلمه في موضع العقد ولا يصح السلام حتى يقبض أو يقبض. So if you say يقبض, then it's going to be يقبض رأس المال. And if you say يقبض, then it's going to be رأس المال. Why is that? If you guys know, put it in the comments. قبل أن يفارقه ولا يجوز التصرف في رأس المال. Okay, this is going to be the file. ولا في مسلم فيه قبل القبض ولا تجوز الشركة ولا التولية. فاعل في المسلم مسلم فيه قبل قبضه ويجوز السلام في الثياب إذا سمى طولا وعرضا ورقعة. Okay, so there you go. And if it was summiya, but it can't be summiya because they've already put an alif there, so we assume that would be. Right, let's explain these masail then. Are you ready for the masail? Yes, I'm ready as well. Okay, let's get rid of this here. Alright, so let's try this. So he says, Imam Abu Hanifa and the Sahibain, they differ on the conditions required for salam to take place. So Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad have 5 conditions, and Imam Abu Hanifa has 7 conditions. Right, so we are gonna list what the conditions are right now. So number 1. Okay, 1, 2. You can write this down yourselves as well. Okay, 4, 5. This is where they all agree. And then 6 and 7 is where there is a disagreement. Okay, so what are they? Let's go through them. So he says, Imam Abu Hanifa rahimullah and the Sahibain, they all say that when you are doing the action of salam, remember what is salam? Salam is basically you order something for a later date. Okay, just to recap for those who missed the last lesson. So let's say it's the 1st of March and I want to order something for the 1st of July. Right, 1st of July. So when I put that order in, so let's say for instance it's going to be apples, then I obviously have to make some sort of a specification with the apple seller of what apples I want, so that on the 1st of July I'm not ending up with something that is not what I was expecting. Right, so there has to be clarity in the contract. So this is why he says the first thing that he has to mention, like let's say there's a form you have to fill in. So you put your order in. So what do you have to say to the guy? You have to say, look, okay, what do you want to buy? The jins ma'loom, right? So it has to be, the genus has to be known. So for in this case, let's say it was apples. That's a genus, that is number 1, right? So that's a genus. Genus just means the thing that you want. Like, is it a car? Is it an apple? Is it a pear? Is it whatever? Okay, so genus is apples. Number 2, you have to mention the type. Right, so we get loads of types of apples in the world. What type of apples? So let's say, for example, I want green apples, Granny Smith. Yeah, so Granny Smith apples. Okay, I want Granny Smith apples. That's the type. Done. Number 3, what's the quality? Like, do you want high quality apples? You want low quality? Because sometimes you can get varying qualities, isn't it? So you say, okay, I want premium quality apples. So the guy does 2 types, premium quality and a bit low quality. Because I want the premium quality ones. Okay. Number 4, how much do you want? How much? So you got to put in an order of how much you want. So he says, I want, let's say, 100 kg. 100 kg of apples. Is that fine? Yes, that's fine. That's sufficient enough to mention to us that you want 100 kgs. All right, what else is there? Number 5, he says you have to also mention the time period. How long do you want it? On what date do you want it? Yeah, so the time, the date. So he says, I want it on the 1st of July. I need it for the 1st of July, right, for a special occasion. All right, so these are the 5 types of things that both Sahibain and Imam Abu Hanifa rahimullah all agree on. The ikhtilaf appears in the last one, right? The ikhtilaf, the last 2. What's the last 2 then? So the last 2 is you have to mention how much capital. Okay, how much capital? How much capital? How much money is it going to cost? Like, how much are you going to give? This is called the miqdar of the Ra's al-Mal. Yeah, the miqdar Ra's al-Mal. So, so this is the first thing. I'm going to explain about this in a little bit. Let's come back to this in a bit. And the 7th is you have to mention the location of delivery. Where do you want it delivered? Especially if it's something that's going to have weight, like 100 kilos. That might require carrying. So you want to mention the location. So you might say, for example, okay, I want it to be delivered to my house or to my warehouse, or I want it to be delivered to this particular address. Right, so these 6 and 7, these are 2 that Abu Hanifa agrees with, Sahibain don't agree with. Okay, so capital and location. Okay. Right, so let's now look at these a bit more in detail. So when we say capital, what do we mean by capital? What we really mean by capital is by mentioning the price. What price are you going to give him? Right, so that's basically what it's saying. You have to mention. So let's say he's made an order of 100 kilos of apples and he says, I'm going to pay, I don't know, £50. £50 is what I'm going to pay. So you have to basically mention the price. These are 7 things. These are 7 things that Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah says you must have in the contract. Like nowadays, you can basically just have a form you fill in online. You have a form, you say, you know, what type of item do you want? What note? What quality? How much do you want? When do you want it done? So blah, blah, blah. All of those things are things just to make something very, very specific. That's the idea. Now, if, for example, like in today's times, you were to order, I don't know, shoes, right? So again, you would say, I want shoes. Okay, what kind of shoes do you want? You say, I want, I don't know, Nike shoes. Okay, what quality do you want? Because the different types you can get. So you mentioned, I don't know, for example, like running shoes. And then you say, okay, how many pairs do you want? And you say, I want 15 pairs. And then when do you want it done? By this time, capital, this is how much it's going to cost. And location, where do you want it delivered? That's basically what Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah is saying. Okay, so let's go down to here. So he says, وَلَا يَصِحُ السَّلَمُ. Salam is not permitted in the Abi Hanifa, according to Abu Hanifa, إِلَّا بِسَبْعِ شَرَائِطٍ, except with 7 conditions, تُذْكَرُ فِي الْعَقْدِ, which are mentioned in the contract. Right, so when you're making the contract, you mention them. What are the 7? جِنْسٌ مَعْلُوم, genus known, نوع معلوم, type model known, صفة معلومة, the quality is known, مقدار معلوم, the amount is known, ajalun ma'lum, and the time period is known, ma'rifatu miqdari ra'sil mal, knowing the ra'sul mal, the capital. إذا كان مما يتعلق العقد على مقداره. If the aqd is going to be attached to this. Yeah, so if the aqd is going to be attached to this, you need to know it. Like for example, he says the capital might be something that's measured, or something that's weighed, or something that's counted. So you might need to mention that. It might be something like, I don't know, I want 100 kilos of apples, and each kilo is for a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Or I want, 20 bananas, and each one is going to be worth 50 pence. So again, that could be, or the capital itself could be something that's weighed and measured. Like, I'm going to give you 2 bags of rice, or I'm going to give you 20 kilos of dates. All right. So that's basically when it says kal makili wal mawzuni wal ma'dud, and something that's counted as well. Yeah, it could be something that's counted you're giving. Remember that. Wa tasmiyatu, and mentioning the place alladhi yuwafihi, in which he delivers it, fihi idha kana lahu hamlun, when it has weight or a burden. Right. So because if it's something heavy and you're going to leave it 10 miles away from your house, again, that 10 miles is going to cause you burden to pick it up and find someone who can bring it. So you might have to mention to the person where they want it delivered as well. If it's something that's not really going to have that much weight, then you're okay. Okay, what do the Sahibain say? The Sahibain say, قال أبو يوسف ومحمد, they say, لا يحتاج, there is no need, إلى تسمية رأس المال, to mention the capital. So they say capital is not needed. إذا كان معينا, when the capital is specified. If the capital is specified, like let's say it's something which you mention, like I say to you, this is what I'm going to give you, a point at it. I give you a bag of money and I show you it. But I don't mention how much it is. As long as it's something that's specified, then it's totally fine. وَلَا إِلَى الْمَكَانِ مكان التسليم, nor to the place where it's going to be handed over. You don't have to mention that. You just have to deliver it to where the contract was made. Now, obviously, in today's times, a lot of us make contracts online, so you can't. There's no place where are you gonna? So you would assume that they deliver it to your house. وَيُسَلِّمُهُ فِي مَوْضِعِ الْعَقْدِ, and it will be delivered to the place the contract was made. So we assume that would be your house. Okay, now, so that's all done. The 7 conditions. Right, I hope that makes sense. 7 conditions. Let's now move on to the next part of this now. So he says, salam is not permissible. So let's say, for example, there's 2 guys over here. They are doing the deal of salam. Okay, so this guy has got the tree, and I keep mentioning tree, but you can do in anything that can be specifically delivered. So as long as you can specifically deliver. I mean, nowadays people do it in houses, like housing projects. They'll give them specific dimensions of a house of some sort. Then that can be provided. That can fall under salam as well. And you can do it under clothing nowadays, because it's very, very easy to make t-shirts or tops or shoes, something like that, and order it for delivery. So this guy who's got the cash, basically he's got to give the cash over. He's got to give the cash over like before they separate, because this is a very delicate deal. This is almost like a riba deal, you can say. Remember we said in riba where if the 2 parties were to separate before the exchangeable items are given, then that deal is over. So the same thing over here as well. He says, لا يصح, as-salam is not permitted, حتى يقبض رأس المال, until the رأس المال, the capital, has been possessed. Okay, so capital is possessed. قبل أن يفارقه, before both parties separate their ways. So if both parties separate their ways, the deal is over. Right? So before they separate, this guy over here, we call him the Muslim, ilayhi, has to get the money. That's the first thing we need to understand about this. The second thing that we need to understand about this is, like this guy over here. So let's just do a little timeline over here. Let me draw this timeline for you guys, because I know you guys enjoy watching my drawing. Yeah. All right. So 1st of July. So what's happened basically is, this guy has given over the money to him. All right. Money's done. Once he's got the money, can he go and invest it? Of course he can. But prior to receiving that money, when is he going to get that money? he's going to get that money right away. Okay, so let's just put that there. Right away, that makes more sense. Right, so he is allowed to go and invest that money because it's considered to be his now. However, this guy over here, before he gives the apples to this guy over here, this guy is not allowed to sell them before possession. Yeah, he can't deal with them before possession. Right, so that's the most important thing. And we've mentioned about this before. We said that it's not permitted for a person to sell something that they have purchased before they take possession. And possession will be taken on the 1st of July. That's the whole idea or what this is based around. Does that make sense? So this is why it says, لا يجوز التصرف في رأس المال. For this guy, it's not permitted for him, or rather, for this guy, it's not permitted for him to go and make an investment with someone, promise someone money that they're going to get from a salam contract. They can't do that. Because if he hasn't received it yet, if this guy has not received it yet, and he's going speaking to other people to buy stuff of a house of him or a car of someone else, right, then he hasn't got the money, he can't do that. Okay, so لا يجوز التصرف في رأس المال ولا في المسلم فيه. The Muslim فيه is the goods, the apples, right? The apple tree. Right? He can't do, let's change the color of this. It's green now, let's make it be green. Okay, green is better. So he says, ولا في المسلم فيه قبل القبض, prior to possession. Whose possession? This guy's possession. When is he going to get it? He's going to get it on the 1st of July. Once he gets the apples on the 1st of July, he may now go and sell them to whoever he wants. Totally fine. No problem at all. But before the 1st of July, he cannot go and sell them. Now, what in modern finances they do is called a parallel salam. So let's say you're going to get your stuff on the 1st of July. What this guy can do over here, so let's say he's a bit clever. What he does is, before this date comes, he actually makes a deal with someone else. Yeah, he makes a deal with someone else. So now he is the seller or the Muslim ilayhi, and he's got himself a client. He's going to get the apples for how much? He's going to get the apples for £100 for 100 kg. Or £100 is too much. £50 is better. So what he does is he says to the other guy, I'll sell you for, because the date's quite close, I'll sell you £100 for 100 kilos of apples. You want that? He goes, yeah, that's fine. So he's already made £50. Yeah, this is known as parallel salam, where one salam is going on, and then at the same time you create another salam. It's as though you now become the salam guy, right? So this is almost like, you can say, a scenario of dropshipping, where you've made an order with someone. Prior to you getting that order, you've already started to create a forward sale with someone else, as you are the provider, you are the one that's gonna give the goods. So he says, وَلَا قَبْلَ الشِّرْكَةِ. Right? Does that make sense? قبل القبض. Make sense? Okay, so this is the modern day. If you like these modern day examples, if you like me dipping into these modern day examples, then please let me know in the comments as well. And I would definitely encourage you guys to read Introduction to Islamic Finance by Mufti Taqi Usman. It's a very good eye opener for how contracts work in today's days in the Islamic circles. Right, وَلَا تَجُوزُ الشِّرْكَ وَلَا التَّوْلِيَ فِي الْمُسْلَمِ فِيهِ. Now, one of the things, so this is like the third scenario. What you cannot do is, you can't do something like a salam. Alright, so let's choose a nice color over here. You can't do shirka in salam. So like, let's say you started on this date. So between now and before the 1st, you can't call someone else and say, oh, do you want to become partners with me? I've paid the guy £50, right? You give me, I don't know, £25 and you can be my partner in this. You can't get partners once you've started the contract. You could have had partners before. So before this date, it was fine. But after this date, you can't get partners. And nor can you do tawliya. You can't sell it to someone. Like, you can't get someone else say, guy, you know what? I bought these apples for £50. You want to buy it off me? £50, give me £50. And so he gives you £50 and then, no, you can't do that. So once you're locked into a contract, you can't go around start selling your contracts to other people. You can't do that. So he says, لا تجوز شركة ولا تولية في المسلم فيه قبل قبضه, before taking possession. So you can do it after the 1st of July, but you can't do these two things, shirka and tawliya. ويجوز السلم في الثياب إذا سمى طولا وعرضا ورقعة. Doing salam in clothing is permissible so long as you mention the length that is needed, the width that's needed, and the type of material. Basically, as long as you can provide the exact dimensions, the exact specifications of the thing that's being ordered, then salam can be done in almost anything, right? That can be quantified, you can say. Does that make sense? And that's it. Right, so let's have a look. Like I said to you, in today's times, there's lots of things people can do salam in. People do salam in, I don't know, vegetable oil. People do salam in, what else is out there? Yeah, clothing, shoes, furniture. Now, we're going to be talking later on about something else called istisna, which is manufacturing. So manufacturing is a bit more flexible, right? Remember we said technically salam should not be allowed. But it is allowed because the Prophet ﷺ did allow it. Right, so let's have a look at this then. So what questions do I have for you today? Right, so some questions. Name the 7 conditions Abu Hanifa rahimahullah says must be found when a salam contract is being made. Right, so you just have to mention these: genus and type and quality and how much and time and capital and location. Tell me which 2 do the Sahibain disagree on? And that's the capital and the location. Okay. Can a person, before the maturity date of the salam contract, can they go and sell their goods off to someone else? No, they can't. But they can do a salam, another salam. That's different. Okay. Can a person give them money later? So let's say this guy, he wants to give his money later. Can he do that? No, he can't do that. The money has to be given when the contract is made. Right? That's necessary, that is. Can the guy who is the Muslim ilayhi, can he use the money up before he's received it? No, he can't. Right? Can a person get another person involved after the contract is made to make him a sharik or to do tawliya? No, you can't do any of those. What other things can you do salam in? You can do in clothing, as long as all the dimensions are precise and the person gets the thing delivered to them that they want. And that's it, guys. So I hope you guys benefit from this, enjoy this. If you have any sort of questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you to all my patrons who support my channel. Honestly, it means a lot to me when you guys are, kindly donating towards my channel. If anyone else wants to donate towards my channel and support the work that I do, please check out the description below. You can become a monthly supporter. You can become a one-off supporter through PayPal. And my email's in the bottom as well. So I will finish it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.